Hello, everybody. This is another episode of Aggressively Average Tabletop. My name is Smug,
And I'm Frost.
and we're today's episode is something that Frost here has cooked up for us.
Yeah, so we've always thought, or at least a lot of the times when I'm driving to work early in the morning, I have a lot of thoughts that go through my head. And one of them was like, what would the Warhammer 40K factions, we're talking main factions here, right? What would they wear in the 21st century? And the point of this episode is not supposed to be like, oh, yeah, we'll take Sisters of Battle, right? They are nuns with guns. That's the whole joke meme on the internet. It's like, oh, they wear nun robes. It's like, well, that does exist in the 21st century, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's a little too it's too easy, right? So we're trying to go with a little maybe a bit of personality, like what would they potentially be like, slash what would they potentially wear. Um, and so
AKA,
we're gonna
if
go.
there's already a common joke, AKA Sisters with Nuns, we're kind of like, okay, we can't take something that easy. We got to have something fun. We got to do something
Oh,
else.
absolutely. And I'm not saying that there won't be a spoiler alert. I'm not saying there won't be religious undertones because that is kind of a very big part of their personality. But I mean, yeah, we don't reach for low hanging fruit here.
Look, man, it's gonna work. It's gonna make sense. And if you disagree, type in the comments below.
For Space
And
Marines, I'm not doing all the Divergent chapters because, frankly, we don't want to make a 27 faction video because that's just going to be way too long. So if you guys are interested in more of this kind of stuff, we can go on and do a little bit and do like the Divergent like chapters or even Divergent like Astra Militarum, like regiments and stuff like that because we have ideas, but we don't want to make this a 2 hour video. Also, I want to say congratulations real quick to Smug. He did very well at Mayhem a couple weeks ago with his. I don't know if you want to keep this in the video, so because people may find you
if
with your
people are doing
identity.
that
So I
much
guess you have said it.
research, if people are doing that much research, they're gonna find me regardless, man.
So
Like we're
I
in the
mean,
digital age. If somebody wants to stalk me, they'll find a way. I'll cut out the name of the tourney, but I won't say position either. But I got best in faction. I'm not saying Tyranids or Votan. I got best in faction. Take your guess, ladies and gentlemen. But overall, yeah.
we're recording this before the down balanced data slate that's coming out in June. So a lot of this could change. But anyways,
We're
we're going
actually
way off
recording
topic.
this on Father's Day.
Yeah, so shout out your dads. Give them a call, even though you're going to see this way later, but still give them a call.
Give him a
Tell them
call
what's
and say
up.
Happy Father's Day with absolutely no explanation.
That would be good. Anyways, and it wouldn't be a Warhammer video, let's be honest, if you're not starting with the protagonists of the faction or of the universe, the Imperium of Man, everyone's favorite, right? There's no one ever hates how many books and stuff are purely written about them, right?
Nobody's
I know
jealous.
I know that you're not jealous of
I've
your
never
faction
been
having a lot.
jealous. I've never been jealous. No,
So
Tyranids and Votan, neither of them need a book.
no, absolutely not. So, anyways, we're gonna start with the tried and true boots on the ground, regular humans, Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, right? So the thought of this is that we're talking about the most average person like in the guard, right? We're not talking specialty units, we're not talking commissars or anything like that. We're not even going to talk.
The Tempestus Scions, the Tempestus Scions.
I love the Tempestor Scions, but we are not talking about them right now because that is such a niche faction out there, and I love them. I mean, if hey, all my homies love the Tempestor Scions. They look sick, but we're not talking about them. So you're thinking, what would a 21st century Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum, like regular soldier wear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, he's wearing something functional. He's not wearing stuff that's like, he only needs it for one, like, it needs to be functional, it needs to be multi purpose, it needs to be cheap, and it needs to be sort of, and I thought kind of like a uniform, right? Because
A
I mean, it
wife
is the
beater.
military after all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So wife beater underneath, absolutely. So all this stuff that so he's doing his shopping, right? Like so it's all going to be bought from Walmart, Target, or wherever you're going to get, your store that sells everything from clothes to bullets because I mean, you need the one-stop shop. This is where this guy's going.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing a wife beater, obviously, with a white t-shirt and jeans and some Ariat work boots, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I said this is that it's very functional, right? And fixable because you got patches for your jeans. You can like recycle old jeans to use for patches. Like t-shirts are pretty easily replaceable. They can clean them if since they're white. You just throw some bleach on it. You can do that. Again, we go to the uniform look, right? What do you think of when you think of the military? They all have uniforms, right? That's one of the big things in the military. Matching is important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you even really a military if you guys don't look like you're in uniform?
Yeah, you
I
got to
mean,
look
come
like your
on.
boys.
Yeah, you gotta look like your boys.
How are the
And let's be
propaganda
honest.
videos gonna go hard if you don't look like your boys?
Yeah, exactly. How are they going to be shaking in their boots? But like, I don't know about you guys, but like a white shirt and jeans, you're never really going to stick out like a sore thumb, right? Like you can kind of do almost anything in a white shirt and jeans, right? And I'm talking like you can do yard work, right? You can go shopping. And this is me. This is, by the way, this is purely like I have done all of these things in a white shirt and jeans. I've gone to class in a white shirt and jeans, like in college. Like you can do all that. And plus, it's a little bit throwback, a little bit classy, right? And the Astra Militarum is a little throwback for the 40K universe. So, I mean, you get to look like a greaser from the 80s. And also, like, I don't know, you get to bring the might of the Imperium down on those dirty Xenos and Chaos in your white t-shirt and jeans and your boots. Like, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think, Smug?
You're literally making T-shirt saves, so it makes sense that you would just have a T-shirt. Is my humble opinion.
Exactly. I mean, that was a thought that went into it as well, but I wasn't sure if it fits the vibe. So you got your white t-shirt, jeans, whatever. So we're gonna skip around here, and we're gonna go to Chaos Demons next. Anyways, we're gonna cut this part anyway because we don't have anything to do with it.
Chaos
Um,
Demons, editor, put something in.
yeah, pretty much. I have no idea. Cl-
Next.
next. Anyway, so Sisters of Battle. So we're thinking like your Adeptus Sororitas. So we have two outfits that fit the vibe, and I've recently discovered a Instagram influencer that's like a perfect description of one of these people, as in
Um,
like 30 minutes before recording this
yeah,
video.
we don't know if we're allowed to say names for copyright purposes or whatever, but I think LBP is something we can get away with. Um,
Yeah,
so if we're chill, if we're allowed to, editor, I don't know, figure it out. But essentially, the first vibe, there's two things that kind of go into a sister's vibe. All right, sisters kind of have two faces that we're going to be playing with. There's the Southern Baptist or slash Protestant mother with like the nice floral Sunday sundress coming out of church, looking all pretty and nice, and then there's the Gymshark influencer, which is the reference to LBP. So, the thing about Gymshark influencer, that aspect of sisters at least, is they're hyper functional. They wear power armor. There's not a single sister, not even the canonesses, are put in like that different of colors. They're all very functional and to the same purpose. They follow like a general theme. And like the higher rank you are, the more filigree you get or whatever. But like you're always hyper functional with it. So like you're getting your Gymshark merch, you're getting your like hyper functional for workout. You've got your pre workout and your little shaker bottle. You're going full ham into it and whatnot.
well, we were talking about the calligraphy and all that, and the reason why like we went Gymshark is like, are you really going to need that towel holder on your waistband? Probably not. But like, I mean, there's a lot of like glitz and glamour on the power armor that you probably don't need, but they definitely do have. So I will just give and I know this is true for you. So the reason why we went like Southern, like Christian mother, is that
The
Smug and
zealots.
I both grew up in the Southeast and definitely know exact like if you guys didn't grow up in the Southeast, right, or just in an area that like has a very like, or if you're not religious, like put a picture up,
Yep.
editor,
Yep.
of what we're talking about, um, and it will make sense. So one of the things
Anybody
is like you
anybody
always.
who marks this time code in the video in the comments is getting banned.
So the thing is, on the outside, like when you're looking at when you're thinking about the Sunday dress, right? They look super nice. It's like it's always clean, always proper, very floral. Like I'm thinking like yellows you're going to be wearing, like pinks potentially, blues, and just it's like very nice looking. And so almost kind of supposed to represent like angelic. But the thing is, and if you guys know this, if you ever speak about the Lord's name in vain, right? These women will hit you with like a wooden spoon or like a rolling pin or something like that. These women potentially don't want you to hang out with those atheist kids or
Mm-hmm.
those chaos cultists over there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
They're a
faith is
bad
one of the most,
influence. They're a bad
yeah, they're a
influence.
bad influence. Exactly. They don't want you doing drugs. They don't want you out past 9 p.m. And you better,
Stay away from those Xenos.
yes. And by the way, faith is one of the most important things. So you're praying before bed and you're definitely reading the Bible.
Oh yeah. You've got 3 Bibles. You got 12 different versions of that same Bible, but boy do you get a new one every year for some reason.
And yeah, and if you're not delivering um the wrath of the emperor to his foes, then there's going to be a problem.
You're
And these
volunteering every week for church. You're going to the Wednesday Bible study class. You are a part of it.
so that's what I'm thinking, right? Like I think sisters are one of those two where you got to have two. Now, we're going to stick with the Imperium. Space Marines. Do we really need to
Editor, put that one photo my buddy sent me. Editor, put
and
him in
that's
there.
all.
Let's just look at him for a minute.
I don't really think there's anything more that needs to be said.
I think that's
I
pretty
mean,
accurate.
they just got all the stuff, all the like purity seals, all like the shiny thing, like all the shiny war gear, all the skulls and whatever, because they got to be cool for their homies.
What is it that my generation says? Aura, I think. Like that's got aura. That's got aura.
I'm also your generation. I've never heard of that.
You are one of the few people I've seen out boomer me.
Oh God, that is a that's like a competition you don't want to be the winner of, and I end up being the winner a lot of time of being a boomer.
But now that we've covered Space Marines, we now have something dear and special to my buddy here.
Oh boy, here we go. Custodians, baby. So, you look at streetwear, right? You're looking at Supreme. I know zero other streetwear brands.
Supreme is not
Uh,
streetwear.
oh, what is it then?
It's like designer, like it's like high schooler. Let me flex on my friends. I have rich parents.
Custodians, right? So they're not about that. They're not about that Supreme, right? They don't need to do that because they actually have money, right? So we're talking name brand designer stuff. We're talking Gucci. We're talking Versace. We're talking dripped out, right? There needs to be big logos because they have big egos, kind of. So obviously the custodians got like the best available to them, and those little they let those little bitches around them know it. I don't know if that actually should say
They're
that.
custodies are the ones who walk in the whatchamacallit, the fashion shows. They are the people walking up and down that aisleway. How inconvenient is it to actually functioning? That's another question, but it looks cool,
Yeah, I
probably.
mean they got the big plumes. I mean they don't use ceramite; they use auramite because they're just a grade above. And they try to act like normal people, right? Like so, the Space Marines are kind of like hard to relate to because they're not really normal. But like the custodians apparently are, but like secretly they're just like, man, look at all these. Gotta feel bad for these normal people out here. And honestly, they just wear better, like better Supreme. They're like, yeah, you know what? I do rock Gucci. Like you wear Supreme because you wish you could rock the stuff I rock.
What's more realistic than a celebrity getting on social media and saying, I feel so bad for us, the poor people that we are. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go back to my 28 pools.
That is a good description of the custodians. They don't actually do anything like in the lore and whatever. I mean, kind of recently they've been sort of kind of doing things, but like man,
This isn't about
it's not
lore.
about
This is
lore.
about aesthetics.
I do love the aesthetics. Um, anyways, so we're gonna skip I think we'll stay with chaos because we'll do the direct comparison, right? So
Hmm.
do you remember the brand Yeezys, Smug?
You mean that's the Kanye West stuff?
Yes. So I think I don't. Hey, ever since Kanye like started doing some weird stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, going off the deep end.
Yeah, I don't know if they still make Yeezys, but definitely Yeezys was his old brand. I mean, if you've ever seen the Yeezy clothing line, Editor, put a picture up. Basically, it's this really, really expensive clothing that looks raggedy and like torn up, but it's ridiculously expensive. And that's kind of what I was thinking for Chaos is that these people are like, oh God, yeah, it's like they're trying to be edgy, because they kind of look evil for no reason. They're against the mainstream, and like if you're a Chaos Lord, right? You don't want to be wearing just like not expensive cool stuff. Like you're going to be wearing like you gotta show off your glitz and glamour and show that like you're way better than your loyalist brothers, because they
But you
worship
gotta have those like cuts and edge and rips in the fabric where it's like, oh, but like obviously I've actually been through it. I've actually suffered, unlike them.
unlike those loyalist dogs who worship the corpse emperor. God, they don't even know.
Ignoring the
They're
fact
not a
that you both go to the same high school, you both live in the same neighborhood, you both hang out generally with the same people.
Yeah,
Like,
but they're not a veteran of the Longmore, Smug. They don't understand.
right, right. War, war. It always changes. That's the famous quote, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, thinking about it, like Kanye could be a Chaos Lord. Like he may be on his like demon like ascension hood like arc right now.
I mean, to be fair, the second you get with somebody who has the same like their initials are K and K, like you're on a path.
Oh boy. Yeah, yeah, I love his old music. I will say that he's got some absolute bangers. But
I don't think you're
yeah,
allowed to say that. I don't think you're
what do
allowed to
you
say that.
what do you mean?
I
You're
don't think
trying to tell me?
I don't think you're allowed
Oh,
to like Kanye. I think that gets you canceled.
oh God, am I gonna get
I
canceled?
think you're getting canceled. Editor, cancel him.
Hold on, what was that old album called? Like
Graduation. That's what
Graduation?
yeah,
Yes.
that's what everybody says whenever they're like, "Oh, but he made graduation. You can't, that's why I like him." That's the outs I've seen.
Dude, 2007, what a time to be alive. But hey, if you guys support Kanye West, put it in the comments what your favorite Kanye West song is.
Oh man, we're just speed running this,
If you
huh?
put if you put anything modern, I am gonna be pissed
If you put
because it's
anything
not as good.
modern, Frost will go through specifically and find you and ban you.
Yes, I absolutely will because it's not as good as his old stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to the Xenos. Now, Necrons, I don't actually have anything written for Necrons because I don't know enough about them. I'll be honest.
I think okay, my thoughts on Necrons. I also didn't write anything down for Necrons, so we're just gonna be freeballing this. I think Necrons would wear like I think they'd be the dudes that were like raised by their grandparents, you know? Like they'd be super fashionable if they were 20 years younger
Ooh, ooh, that would be
cuz
yeah. That
cuz like there's like the generational disconnect. There's like the obviously my grandparents know better. They're so wise and old, but like the Necrons aren't they don't have that we're so like let me respect people who are wise and old. They are the wise and old, but they're suddenly popping back into a new generation, so they give off the same vibes.
Do you think it could be potentially like kids that move from like one country to another country, and they're just like they have a style, but it's like just completely different from the place they moved to? It's like my
Ah,
like, does that make any sense? Because like, like my girlfriend didn't grow up in the United States, but she was born in the States. Like her family are expats, and so like she moved around a lot. Like going from like Canada to like Europe and like Southeast Asia, and like those kids would definitely have like different styles like going into that. I mean,
I
maybe.
would more blame the Tao for that kind of aesthetic.
Ooh, that actually is a good one. Yeah, we also didn't. I didn't write it. This is gonna
We're
be
only
bad.
doing we're only doing some factions, everybody. We're not doing everybody.
I literally
Uh,
forgot that Tao existed when I was writing the script.
yeah, you were in a good place. You were you were happy.
Now that you mentioned the Tao, I literally forgot.
So yeah, I think Necrons would be like the grandpa of aesthetics. Like it would be the dude who would like, oh yeah, dress up for this like 1950s party and like would be ready.
He is ready for the 80 or the 60s throwback where like you're wearing the
Mhm.
khakis that are like go up to like your belly button.
Mhm. Mhm. He's dressed like James Randall. Editor, put a picture of James Randall up on the screen.
James Randall. So I actually did write stuff for the Eldari or Eldar, depending on when you got into the game.
You actually wrote the most for
Yeah,
Eldari.
I
You wrote
actually
more for Eldari than Sisters and Custodes.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling I don't know. So the thing with Eldar is that they're kind of an interesting. I don't even play Eldar, and I don't even really particularly like love their lore, but I think they're just kind of an interesting faction. So I this one maybe this was just because. So again, I grew up in the southeast. I went to a large state school in the southeast. So I grew up with a lot of Greek life people. So this is the immediate thought I got of them were like the frat sorority girls, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is that obviously they dress better than like, maybe not Space Marines, well, probably Space Marines, but like they just always have that like prim and proper look to them. They're clean shaven, they're just kind of like I'm talking about frat guys like specifically here. But it's like they always got like they always kind of have that same uniform. If you guys ever went out to like a bar,
Band kids! Band kids!
ooh, that is a good one. But
Band kids! Because they're that kind of nerdy, because they'll talk about like magic and like that kind of stuff, where it's like, yeah!
I was a band kid, by the way.
Uh, Frost, we're playing Warhammer. Of
That's
course you
okay.
were a
Keep it
band
in
kid.
there. Keep it in there. Keep my name in there. I don't care.
Frost, we were band. We're playing Warhammer. Of course we were band kids.
Well, technically, I was better than the band kids because I played double bass. Okay, I was in the orchestra, but I also played football.
Yeah, and
So
I did percussion, so I get an exception. Right? Is that how it works?
no, I played double bass, stand up bass. If you're curious why it's called double bass, is because.
Editor, cut that out.
Anyway, so back to Eldari.
I think
So
Eldar. I think band kids. Honestly.
I like the band kids, but one of the things I like about them is that the Eldari definitely have to show that they're better than you and they're superior than you. So they're wearing like they're wearing Vineyard Vines, right? They're wearing like polo, like they're wearing the stuff that kind of shows off that it's like, oh yeah, I have money, right? Like they got the brand new like iPhones and whatever. And by the way,
And you know their PJs are like Piggly Wiggly.
oh yeah, and it's like they got all those like all the Costco stuff and whatever, like the Kirkland.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, like they've done nothing to like potentially earn that. Like it's all like their ancestors, which is kind of what the Eldar are like currently, because they used to be like the greatest faction, and they're kind of still resting on those laurels of like we used to be the best in the universe. It's like yeah, but now you're like a dying race.
They used to be generationally like they used to be. Oh God, what is it? Um, Whenever you're like hired because your family worked there.
That is Oh, oh man, we're gonna look so stupid. We can't think about what we can't. I'm gonna look it up. I know the word. Um,
Editor, put the word on the screen. That word, it is like they used to be in that at the top. They used to be in an Ivy League every single time, but the dude that you're hanging out with is like he's at a a good college still, but it's just not an Ivy League, and like he's like coping for that.
oh, it's nepotism, by the way.
Yes, a nepotism hire.
Yeah, no, they're pretty nepotism, 100%.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they've been a nepotism hire their entire life, but the old money is actually starting to run out. So like now they're like with the pseudo poor people, like, oh, you got here with like they gave you money to be here. Why why am I here with you?
Yeah, but I mean, do you think they would wear? Do you think they'd be the people that wear suits? Like, do you ever have those kids in your high school where it's like they'd wear suits every day?
Not every day. At my school, kids would wear suits if they were going to like a club meet where they needed to be fancy.
Oh, I had kids like wear that like wore. I went to a public high school, and it's like I had kids that were like, I don't know. I thought it was like a trope or like something like the kid who wears a suit every day to class. And I was thinking maybe that's them, but I feel like that's a little too, that's like a little too much.
So we actually covered that trope earlier in this episode.
Like, who's wearing the suit every day to class?
The grandpa's kid
Oh,
because they didn't have
oh,
their
I was,
parents.
oh, I, I took that like, I mean, that does make sense, but I was thinking like I couldn't get the picture of, God, what's his name? You said it literally earlier with the guy with like, the khakis up to his like belly button.
James Randall.
Yes, I could not get that image out of my head, but that is actually 100% true. Like they are wearing the suit every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'll go on to NIDS. I'm gonna let you do this because I am not a NID expert.
So here's how I think Tyranids would style if they were transformed into functional members of society. I think that they would be like the poor kids down like the trailer park. There would be like an entire trailer park filled with these people who are somehow well dressed, and it's because they know which Goodwill to go to buy secondhand stuff from. They plan out, okay, if we go to this Goodwill after this Christmas, these kids have grown out of these clothes, so we'll steal those clothes for our kid. Steal, by steal I mean buy, like get a steal of a deal. We'll go into this Goodwill and we'll buy these clothes because I know my kid can rock it. And even though they live in a trailer park, they are well dressed and fashionable. And not like, oh, I have designer clothes. It's more like, oh, well, I actually look good in pretty much any environment I dress for. I am ready for any dressy occasion. Because, Tyranids and adapting, that's kind of, you know, their whole deal.
So are you saying that they're basically Scarlett O'Hara or O'Hara from Gone with the Wind?
I should be shot for not having seen that movie, but essentially.
You went to art school, Smug.
I was sick for that class.
You were sick for that class. Anyway, if you guys have ever seen that movie, she is or ever read the book, she's basically a perfect description of what Smug is saying is that she grew up very poor, but she's always able to like very much present herself. Like she like at one point like she uses like a curtain and like makes a dress out of it that looks really nice. Um so I think that makes sense for Nids. I mean, yeah, I like Nids. I think we'll go to. I'm looking at Drukari, Dark Eldar, depending on it, and this is the only one that I couldn't think of like something like potentially kind of clever to talk
Well, here's
about
here's the thing.
because
We
we.
could talk about it freely, but then for our like what, third or fourth episode, we would lose a YouTube channel. So,
Yeah, I mean,
we're kind of put in a rough spot with the Drukari. Um
they're pirates. I don't know if they're rocking peg legs
So
though.
I guess the modern day equivalent of pirates in the 21st century in 2024, the equivalent for pirates, if we're going down this route, we have stuff written down. This wasn't written down, but I guess would be gangs.
I mean, I mean, maybe. Like, I don't know. I don't know how many gangs are.
Okay, it's
I
either
mean,
gangs or
potentially.
a T word that affects the globe that I'm not repeating for YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, I, if we want to go basic, we could be like goth, but I don't really know if that's like exactly what.
Ah.
That's not really exactly what they are.
Okay, but that doesn't really count because all of Warhammer is goth. There's gothic
Yeah.
inspiration everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm talking like, they're wearing like the black boots that go up to like your thigh that are like tied up all the way.
Yeah,
I'm
the
saying,
like e-girl goth.
yeah, yeah, that like they're into some spicy things behind closed doors,
You are
right?
getting
Like,
pegged.
what'd you say?
You are getting pegged.
Well, not me personally, but
If
but
you're in the
like
same room with an Drukari by yourself, one
oh,
way or
oh,
another, something's going in.
well, I mean, I'm surprised they're not going to make you into a couch. Like that is also an option for the Drukari.
Oh, wait, no, there is the one situation where nothing goes in, and it's when you're in the chair watching.
Yeah, or they'll throw you in the gladiator pits. Are we talking about actual lore, or what are we talking about
Oh, I'm
now?
talking about the hotel cuck chair.
Oh God, yeah. I've tried to. Anytime I'm in a hotel, I never sit in the chairs. But yeah. Anyways, I
You're
don't know.
so
It's like
scared of the chairs, you won't even sit in them.
I won't sit in the chairs. You,
You'll
you
you'll
won't catch me
make
in those chairs.
you'll turn the chair to face the wall.
Yeah, I'm a do Blair Witch Project.
But
Now it works. Now imagine the Macklemore thrift shop beat like song.
we're
That is orcs.
talking
Like
gaudy, overdressed, like exponential. Like we're talking like Hondo
not
from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, where he's got those like 28 feathers or whatever sticking off of him. Like
there's nothing matches.
nothing
Like
matches. But like
like
they're just so the person, the orc themselves is just so charismatic. You're just like, yeah, of course. That fits that personality.
it's the person who it's like, yeah, I want to be like you would see this person out in public and you're like, God, what is that person like? But then you talk to them, they're like, oh, they're actually really cool. It's like now I don't really understand what they're wearing, like at all. But like because again, nothing matches or anything like that. But you're like, yeah, no, they're a cool guy. But that's all I
They
mean.
are also absolutely the dude who is going to court being accused of being a pimp with a purple jacket and a cane and like one of those weird hats they wear. They are that person.
They're being accused of being a pimp and show up dressed like a pimp.
Yes. Yes, they are that person.
So now we got Votan, and again, I don't know enough about Votan,
So,
so take it away, Smug.
as given away by the start of this episode, they still don't have their book. So, the only estimation we can have is a true and proper stereotype. Um, but given the fact that it's Games Workshop and the way that they're going to twist the stereotype has already been done with the, oh yeah, my founding father, it's an AI, I'm pretty safe to assume that Votan, if they were brought into the real, like the 21st century and had to dress up like we do, they would wear the things their grandpa wore. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, that's just what the Necrons did. No, 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 no. They wore the things their grandpa wore, like, casually. Like, we're talking the bomber jacket, but it fits. Like, the nice pants, the jeans that have been passed down with the patches, but, like, it's not trashy. Like, every single piece of clothing someone Votan would wear 100% passed down in history, but not scared to be upgraded. Like the leather jacket, yeah, we'll put some LEDs in there. Like, let's add some tech into this to kind of encapsulate the AI vibe that Votan has going for him. Like, they have old clothing objectively, but they're always able to like make it fit and like connect into the new generation. Like Votan is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I have this leather jacket from the 1800s, and like you look at it, and the leather jacket is certainly there, but along with all of the other modifications that they've made, just generation by generation.
So you're basically saying they're wearing like leathers and like deer skins and such that they've been moisturized and like preserved like every week and taken really, really well, like taken care of.
Oh yeah.
And then like they add stuff to it, like maybe like a patch or like you said, the LEDs kind of
hmm
like.
there's so many hidden pockets. You can never rob them because you're going through 28 different pockets trying to get to the which one has the wallet.
So, oh, that does kind of make sense. Just like really, really well kept. Like it's almost like I'm thinking like, oh yeah, it's like my mom's had this purse for like, it's my
Exactly.
great grandmother's purse, right? So it's like it's all this like really old clothing, and you can tell it was like made by hand, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's just like super well kept, like truly one of a kind. But it's just like it's just been taken care of like so well
Mhm. Mhm.
forever.
Yeah. That's
Got your dad's watch,
you've
your
got
dad's
your
dad's watch, your
you've got your grandpa's
dad's watch.
grandpa's boots. You just got them back from the shop the other day from them getting refurbished.
Hmm.
Like now this isn't a part of the
And
episode, but like if you walk into a Votan's like house and like see their furniture and stuff, like
why isn't it part of the episode? Absolutely, throw it in there.
all right, all right. You walk into a Votan's house, you walk in, you see grandpa's chair with the mold, and then the person that invited you over goes to sit down into the mold and they fit perfectly.
Oh, they're like Goldilocks.
Yes. Yes. This is a couch mold generations in the making, and it has been pristinely preserved. The thing is, you'd expect it to squeak, just like, like an old chair would. It is oiled to perfection. They don't even let WD-40 near it. They craft their own oil for the joints.
Water displacement 40. Shout out. Uh, by the way, speaking of
Not sponsored.
plans,
Not sponsored.
generations, and the wait, I'm sorry, you cut out there. What'd you say?
Not sponsored.
Yeah, no, not sponsored. Hey, but WD-40, that'd be kind of a cool spot. Do you think WD-40 sponsored anyone? I've never seen them. But
I've
anyways,
never seen it, but we can
I've never
try.
seen it. Yeah, we can try. Speaking of plans, generations in the making, I also forgot about Gene Stealer Cult.
I mean,
I
Gene
was
Stealer
doing
Colt
this.
is just like a mixture between Tyranids and AdMech, but the worst parts of both. Not because they're not fun, but because they're just neither one of them are loved. Like by the other, like Nids don't love the Gene Stealers, and the Astra Militarum doesn't love the Brood Brothers. So it's literally just like you get the worst of both worlds.
I also realized I forgot about at. Well, we'll cut this part, but we're just not going to add AdMech in because, like,
No.
yeah, I don't. Well, because I just don't know really, and then we
No,
can
no, no.
just lead
We
up to
can.
like,
No, no, no. You know what? I know exactly what we can do. We can throw AdMech in here. AdMech, you are the test subjects of Neuralink. I hope you're okay with being a monkey slamming its skull on a wall.
yeah, but that's not really like like an outfit. Like, what would like? Oh, oh, okay. So
They've got the tan cargo shorts.
absolutely.
Yeah, they've got the Zelda T-shirt with the Switch in the belt loop, but not wearing a belt because they fill the pants. They
Oh, they
they fill
definitely
the pants.
they fill the pants. Oh man, they definitely have the thin framed glasses, right?
Oh yeah, not the Harry Potter kind. It's more
No.
squarish.
Oh, absolutely. They always have their I was gonna say that they may even have like Google Glass, except that thing got canceled, but you know what I mean.
They've got some kind of like tech glass kind of thing, or they're wearing the sports glasses because they never grew out of them when they were a kid, and their parents made them do sports, but they couldn't see.
Oh, dude, I'm thinking maybe the Apple Pros, whatever those are called. You know what I'm talking about? Like the like
Oh, the new like
yeah,
visor thing you
yes,
put on your skull, like a VR
yes,
outfit.
that is them, 100%.
No, no, because I guarantee you, every single one of them was like, "I'm not buying this. This is stupid. This is for influencers. Like, this is something a space
They
marine would
definitely use
buy."
Linux on their computer.
They use Linux. They use Linux. And if you use Windows or Mac, like somebody who actually enjoys themselves, they do that sneer. You know that sneer if you've ever asked a tech guy for help.
See, they like to pretend they actually know how Linux works, but they really don't know.
Linux is such a anyway. I do think I think overall we did a pretty decent job of sticking to the rules we made. Again, we follow Poor Hammer rules where it's the more fun we're having with something, the more the rule matters or doesn't matter. If you weren't having fun, write in the comments below. Make sure to leave us notes. We will read them.
Now we may not like listen to them, but we will read them. We'll only listen to the ones we agree with.
I love how we have the ego like we're big influencers without anything backing it up.
I know. Oh, there's absolutely zero. But yeah, no, we would love to hear your ideas about what we can also just cut all that out.
Actually, something that we do want you to have in the comments is what you think each detachment or like what do you think Space Marines would actually wear in the comments?
Yeah, and you know, we do actually really do like the comments when people write and everything. We are just kind of being joking with that because we think it's funny. Um, so we do read it. We will basically take suggestions because we are always looking to improve. But yeah, we didn't touch on everyone here. So if you guys liked this episode, we will absolutely go into more details. Like there's so many more like sub factions you can go into. I mean, you got like Death Watch and Grey Knights and all the Divergent chapters for Space Marines, all the like different regiments for Astra Militarum that we didn't touch on. Like, I mean, you got Harlequins as well for Eldar. So if you guys are interested in that, like, we could definitely do another episode similar to this. Um, and I think that's all I've got. I don't know if you have anything else, Smug.
Honestly, all in all, I think I'm pretty happy with all this. This was one of those like low effort, like let's have some fun videos that I'm a big fan of. Um, yeah. But thank you all for watching this episode.
Yeah, and again, wish your father happy Father's Day. Even if it's not Father's Day, just always, you know, you give your mom and dad a call and tell them how much you
Mhm.
appreciate them. And
Mhm.
we'll catch you guys next time.
See you around.
Well, I thought that was good.